Is it I enjoy to read or I enjoy reading? And is it I stopped to eat lunch or I stopped eating lunch? Do you often wonder, do I need the gerund or the infinitive? Let's fix that. Today you'll learn everything you need to correctly use gerunds and infinitives in English. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. Which sentence is correct? A, I enjoy to swim every morning, or B, I enjoy swimming every morning. The correct answer is B, I enjoy swimming every morning. You need to use the gerund, which is of course your verb plus ing with preferences. Enjoy, like, love, dislike, hate, detest, loathe, and prefer. The word detest means you really hate something, and then loathe means you really hate something. You might say, I loathe. Now you need a gerund. So what is something you loathe? I loathe shoveling the snow at 6 a.m. in the cold. Now let's think of the more positive. I love staying, your verb and ing. I love staying in my warm bed when it's cold outside. Or you can say, I prefer drinking tea when it's cold out. Now, you may already know that it's acceptable to use the infinitive, I love to stay in my warm bed, or the gerund, I love staying in my warm bed, after certain verbs of preference. So this isn't after all verbs of preference, but you can safely use the infinitive with like, love, hate, prefer, but never enjoy. And that's why I always say the gerund is the safest choice because it's always correct and it's used with all verbs of preference. So it's just an easier rule to remember. Don't worry about taking these notes. I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. And if you want more in-depth training on this topic and you want to ask me questions and have me review your practice exercises and give you feedback on mistakes and areas for improvement, you can get that in the Finally Fluent Academy. You can look for the link in the description or go to my website to join. Now, which is correct? We began to file the reports. We began filing the reports. Which is correct? Did you say A? That's correct. Did you say B? That's correct too. Just like with certain verbs of preference, not all of them, certain ones, you can use the infinitive or gerund after begin, start, continue. But again, remember, in my opinion, the gerund is the safest choice because it's always correct. But you can say we started filing with the gerund because start is your verb, so it's the verb that follows that's in the gerund or infinitive, not the verb itself. We started filing the reports or we started to file the reports. Let's continue filing or let's continue to file the reports. You'll hear natives use both. Which is correct? We finished to file the reports. We finished filing the reports. The correct answer is B. We finished filing. You must use the gerund after the verbs finish or end. And again, this is why I say it's safer to just memorize these verbs and use the gerund rather than trying to memorize which ones. You can use both. It's just easier, in my opinion. So we finished organizing the files, again, the verb that follows. We ended working overtime. We're no longer doing that. How about this one? She stopped to eat lunch or she stopped eating lunch. Did you say A is correct? Or did you say B is correct? Well, both are correct, but in this case, the meaning changes. So yes, you can use both, but there's a specific time that you would use the infinitive and a specific time you would use the gerund because they communicate different things. So stop plus infinitive. This is to pause one action to start something else. So if you say she stopped to eat lunch, this means she stopped an unspecified action because we don't know what the action is. But she started eating lunch. If you say stop plus gerund, this means that the action stops entirely. So she stopped eating lunch. The action of eating lunch stopped. Now, often both of these are used together. She stopped working to eat lunch. So the action of working stops because we have stop plus gerund. She stopped working. And the action of eating lunch starts. She stopped to eat lunch. She stopped working to eat lunch. Again, this is why I provide personalized feedback to all my students in the Finally Fluent Academy. So if you want more personalized support, you can join the program. Now, let's review this. She stopped smoking last year. This means she quit the habit. She no longer smokes. But very different if you say she stopped to smoke outside. This means she paused what she was doing. We don't know what she was doing, but she paused it to have a cigarette. So to start smoking. Let's review these. Is it A, I remember locking the door, or B, I remember to lock the door? If you're thinking, well, A looks correct, but B looks correct. I know I've seen remember plus infinitive. Well, you're right again because both are correct. But again, the meaning changes. So they're not interchangeable like saying, I like to sleep in, I like sleeping in. In this case, there's a very distinct meaning. Remember plus gerund means you have the memory of the past action. So if I'm thinking back, I would say, I remember seeing the Eiffel Tower for the first time. It was incredible. I have the memory of the action. So it would be common to say, I remember meeting her at the party. I have the memory. I don't remember meeting her at the party. It's very commonly used in the negative. If you use remember plus infinitive, this is for a future goal or a reminder. So you often hear this in the infinitive. Remember to lock the door before you leave. This is very commonly said. I'm saying this to remind you to lock the door. Or I might say, remember to call me when you land. Or you can equally use don't forget, which has the exact same meaning. And again, this is in the imperative. Don't forget to call me when you land. Which is correct? A, to quit her job is the best option. Or B, quitting her job is the best option. Which is correct? It's B, quitting her job. In this case, the gerund, the verb in ing, functions as the subject of the sentence. You can begin a sentence with the gerund to make a general statement, and this is extremely common in English sentence structure. For example, exercising regularly improves your mood. Now, the subject of this sentence is exercising. And because there is one gerund, it's conjugated as third person singular, which is why improves has an S on it. Exercising it improves your mood. Or another general statement, cooking at home saves money and is healthier. Or, of course, learning English, learning in your ing. Learning English takes time, but it's worth it. Which is correct? A, she decided to quit her job. B, she decided quitting her job. Which is correct? In this case, it's A, you want the infinitive, which of course is to plus base verb, after verbs that show intentions, plans, or decisions. So verbs like decide, plan, want, or hope. I want to improve my English. They plan to travel this summer. I hope to see you at the party. Which is correct? A, let's talk about to extend the contract. B, let's talk about extending the contract. Do you know? It is B. Hopefully you know this one, because after a preposition, you must use a gerund. So in this case, about is the preposition. This is extremely common in English. I'm interested in is a preposition, in learning Spanish. She's good at, that's a preposition, playing tennis. We took up doing yoga. So to take up, this is a phrasal verb, but what is a phrasal verb? It's a verb plus preposition. That's why gerunds are so common with phrasal verbs. But after a preposition, you can use the gerund or a noun. So you can absolutely say we took up yoga, which is very common. Which is correct? A, I look forward to meet you, or B, I look forward to meeting you. Well, even though I hear most students say A, that is not the correct answer. It's grammatically incorrect. You must use the gerund. I look forward to meeting you. B, of course, is correct because to is a preposition. And what did we just learn? Preposition plus gerund. The expression is to look forward to. To belongs to the expression, which means it's a preposition. It's not a marker for the infinitive. And you look forward to something. We look forward to reviewing your proposal, the gerund. You can also use a noun. She's looking forward to her vacation. Now remember, you need to conjugate look because that's the main verb in the sentence. You may see that verb in the ing form when it's conjugated in the present continuous, for example. Which is correct? A, I avoided to go there. B, I avoided going there. What do you think? Infinitive or gerund? You need the gerund. B is correct. So use the gerund after avoid, deny, postpone, delay, and risk. For example, they postponed meeting the clients. She denied breaking the vase, or he risked investing his money in Bitcoin. Which is correct? A, he suggested me to arrive early. B, he suggested arriving early. The correct answer is B, although I hear many mistakes with this. You need to use the gerund after suggest, recommend, advise, and consider. And also, do not add the object pronoun. So do not say recommend me. Even if you use the gerund, it's incorrect. So A was incorrect for two reasons. You can say the client recommended extending the contract. The lawyer advised ending the contract. We considered getting a third opinion, which means another opinion. Which is correct? A, he pretended to help his mom, or B, he pretended helping his mom. The correct answer is A, you want the infinitive. So use the infinitive with verbs that describe actions that are intentional or planned. Pretend, agree, refuse, choose, decide, expect are some but not all. She agreed to join the team. He refused to answer the question. They chose to stay home instead. Which is correct? A, she's used to work from home. B, she's used to working from home. Do you know? I hear a lot of mistakes with this one. The correct answer is B. The sentence structure is to be used to. She is used to. And then you need something, which would be a gerund or a noun. Just like we saw before with look forward to is a preposition. So you can say she's used to waking up early, or a something, a noun, she's used to the cold. Now, this means she is comfortable with these actions because they are routine. What about this one? Is it A, she used to work from home, or B, she used to working from home? What do you think? In this case, you want A, because that sentence structure is different. She used to work from home. So notice it's subject, used to, and then your base verb. So there is no verb to be here, and it's a different sentence structure. And this simply describes a routine past action. Don't confuse this with she is used to working from home, which is grammatically correct, but the meaning is different. A feeling of comfort with that activity. Which is correct? A, I had a difficult time to file the reports. B, I had a difficult time filing the reports. The correct answer is B, the gerund. So the sentence structure is to have, conjugated, a or an, you need an article, adjective, and then the word time. Now following this, you use a gerund. For example, she had, so that's conjugated in the past simple, she had a lovely time. Lovely is the adjective. Doing something, catching up with friends. Or she had an enjoyable time baking cookies with her mom. Which is correct? A, it's worth to subscribe to JForrest English. Or B, it's worth subscribing to JForrest English. What do you think? The correct answer is B, you want the gerund. So the sentence structure is to be worth, it is worth, and then your gerund, doing something. It's worth, it is, it's worth, now a gerund. It's worth seeing that movie. Or you can change the sentence structure and start with a gerund. Seeing that movie is worth it. If you do this, you must use the object pronoun it because this phrase requires the object. So you can't say seeing that movie is worth. Grammatically incorrect. You must say it. Seeing that movie is worth it. Hopefully you think subscribing is worth it, so make sure you subscribe and of course like this lesson, share it with your friends as well. And remember, I know this is a complicated subject and that's why you can get the training and the personalized support directly from me in the Finally Fluent Academy, so you can look in the description for more information. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.